Hello everyone, this is Lying Figure once again, and this should be episode 12 of Silent Hill 3, if I've done my math correctly. And we just picked up the red shoe from this spotlight on the stage here, and we're gonna head back. And we also grabbed a chain from a bleacher, and we're gonna head back over here and see what's going on, where we came from. And we'll see that this area that was populated by enemies now has no enemies after we picked up those items. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because it's a puzzle area. So we can look in here in this little booth, grab some handgun shells, and there's a switch here. We can't use it just yet, but we'll see there's a gate here that we want to go through. Doesn't seem to... the door doesn't seem locked, but I can't open it. Could it be rusted? I'm not strong enough to budge it, no matter how much I pull. There's got to be a way. Well, there's a big machine here, a switch, a gate, and we just found a chain. So let's put two and two together. Wow, I botched that. Let's actually drink a couple of health drinks here. And we will use our chain wherever it happens to be. And this half is fine. Better do something with the other half. Let's put it on our rusted gate. That would be a good idea. And we've got a nice chain here. And let's hit the switch for this machine. And it will crack it open for us. Thank goodness. We'll head through.
Douglas!
You're late.
Are you hurt?
I can't move my right leg. I think it's broken.
I'll call an ambulance.
What? I don't think one will come. Don't worry. I'm used to it.
You old fool! Getting yourself hurt like that?
Sorry.
Why did you have to do that for me? What'll I do if you die?
What'll we do if this god thing gets born?
Come on. How powerful could a god from a dump like this be? I'm sure it'll be no big deal.
Yeah, but anyway, something's gonna happen.
Who knows? Maybe we'd all be better off if it did.
But if this is how God of Mercy acts, I don't want to see any more of him. That's a pretty good reason to risk my life, don't you think? Plus, I'm just an old fool, right?
You think you're Superman or something?
You know, I always wanted to be him. Besides,
Yeah.
I want to help you out.
You don't have to feel responsible. I know it's not your fault.
You remind me of my son.
You said nobody was going to cry for you.
Dead people don't cry. Stupid kid got himself shot robbing a bank.
But why?
Maybe because his pop was a penniless good-for-nothing. Who knows? Anyway, now I guess I'll never find out. Sorry. I shouldn't have said you reminded me of a guy like that.
Well, maybe if you had compared me to your daughter. Listen, I'll take care of the rest. You stay here and I'll be back when it's over.
You'll be okay by yourself.
Hey, no problem. Besides, my dad's not around anymore, so only I can do this. What are you doing?
Maybe killing you here is the only way to end this nightmare.
Yeah, you might be right.
So, a cool scene. And I just want to touch briefly before I talk about Douglas. There was something I missed in the last episode, and I would just insert it in editing, but it's something I kind of need to demonstrate for you, which is that in the poorly haunted mansion when that big spike roof fell down and almost hit us, but stopped just above Heather's head, if you play on hard mode, you actually need to ready your weapon to duck your head a bit so that you don't get hit, otherwise you will die instantly. Now before I talk about Douglas, now we know his whole story, so I will talk about him. I'm going to walk back over to him and interact, just so you can see Completionist again, all the cutscenes. So let's go say hello. Hi Doug.
What is it?
I just came by to make sure you were still alive.
Sorry. Come with you if I wasn't hurt.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the problem with older guys, huh? I'll handle things. You just rest. Don't die on me, okay?
So I can go back and interact with him again, but it'll just be the same little cutscene. But let's talk about Douglas. In fact, let me just stand right by him and talk to him. Hi Douglas. So Douglas is, well, his last name is Douglas, well, let me just say his full name, Douglas Cartland. Douglas, his name comes from Douglas Fairbanks, a famous 1920s actor. No real significance except for the developers literally just said the name Douglas fit him, and that's about it. And Douglas was inspired physically by a few different actors and people, namely Ian Holmes and Giancarlo Giannini, I believe is his name, something like that. He's an Italian dubber and actor, and that's where his appearance mainly comes from. And also he actually has like 4 different sources for his appearance, but one major one was apparently The Fifth Element. Now, if you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. It's a Bruce Willis movie, and it's not a masterpiece, but it's a really fun movie, and it's just well made overall. And there's a priest in it that you only see a few times, but the priest is apparently one of the main inspirations for Douglas, and I'll show his picture here if you can kind of see the similarities. And Douglas, of course, says that his son tried to rob a bank because he was a penniless good-for-nothing, he's poor and his son was trying to provide. And there's some implication that maybe because his son got shot, maybe he was the one who shot him. And the reason people believe that, well, I actually haven't seen any theories fleshed out on it, but I've seen that it is a theory. And I would just assume that he's a private detective, and usually private detectives come from a law enforcement background, so you might assume that he was, a responding officer to the bank robbery and he had to shoot his son. Whether that's true or not, it's all just speculation. Maybe some slight implication in that the last cutscene we saw with him was I shot somebody, and now it's him telling, my son got shot. Maybe some slight implication there, but no real facts or confirmation anyway from any source. And Douglas, again, he's cool guy, very cool, interesting, but beyond his story, there's not much to be said about him, honestly. He was inspired by detective novels, he's kind of a archetype detective character. I do like that when he describes his age, he just says 50-something instead of any specific age, because he's kind of depressed and hopeless and, maybe even suicidal, and, he's just kind of a cool private dick detective, sad guy. He's a good character, and I really like him quite a bit, and I'm glad he's in the game. I feel like maybe there's one other fact, so I'll insert it in editing if I can remember, but I think that we covered, the important stuff, definitely. I've said it a few times, but his voice actor, I believe his name is Richard Gross, and he died before the game even was released, which is very tragic because he does do a good job. Like when Heather says, you said that nobody would cry for you, and he says, dead people don't cry. He does a really good job, and I'm not sure how Team Silence, finds all these actors who are not well known, but fit the part just perfectly, especially Heather's voice actress. She's really innocent sounding, a little bit nasally, just a cute voice overall, and it fits her character, I think. Same with James, Guy Seehee as the voice actors, does a wonderful job. Mary Elizabeth Horgan, I believe her name is, or Mary Taylor Horgan, for Mary and Maria. Eddie's voice actor does a good job. I can't remember his name exactly. Laura's voice actor in Silent Hill 2 is an actual little girl, and it's really well done. Anyways, let's stop ranting about that and move on. Nice seeing you, Doug. So let's keep moving, and I think, is it here? The rabbit's all smashed up. This car seems pretty heavy. What happened to the person inside? I'll tell you what happened. He got fucking owned. So we can go in here, which is called the Fortune House. Sounds like a cheap Chinese restaurant, but it's actually a fortune house. There's a little notebook there that I actually miss on some playthroughs. I have missed before. Let's grab this ampoule. There's a big doll head here. That's pretty creepy looking. And the symbol usually looks unnatural and weird, but here it sort of seems to fit. Still makes me feel creepy though, like someone peeking into my brain. So in Resident Evil, what am I talking about? Silent Hill 2, it makes a lot of sense that James's face is the save screen, because it's just a bright red square, and it makes sense that he could see his reflection. It doesn't make quite as much sense here in Silent Hill 3, except when you remember that the first same symbol was found on a mirror in the bathroom, and it would be this exact view for Heather, which is why that is. I've just seen some people question it, so that's the explanation. Now let's go grab this notebook over here. And this is another big reason why I wanted to play on New Game Plus, which is because this is Douglas's notebook, and there's a whole section of it that's not in New Game. You have to play on New Game Plus to unlock it. And so let's look. Client Claudia Wolf. Request searching for then infant Alessa Gillespie, kidnapped by man named Harry Mason. No word from police. Kidnap location unknown. Old Silent Hill newspaper article. Alessa Gillespie 7 dead in fire. Links to current case, to be investigated. Priority low. Now Alessa 7 dead by fire is the exact quote from the note that's in the Japanese and European versions of the game, but it's not in the North American version, which tells you all about the fire that Alessa was in. Using alias Heather. Neighbors do not know real name. What is she hiding? Now let's take a look at this again. And what is she hiding? And when you look at it in the inventory, it will unlock this part, which is, according to records, 24 years old. Client says, look 17. Plausible? Lived in Portland till 12 years ago. Got wrapped up in a murder case. Harry shot suspect. Justifiable self-defense, so no punishment. Moved away immediately after. Started to use alias. Apparently no connection with the criminal. Just some occult freak. Slightly off from way back. Originally from Silent Hill. So that refers to a little murder case that happened. It implies, of course, that the cult has come for Harry again in the past, and that he shot them in self-defense. I'm not sure why they didn't just leave it in the original New Game version, but, you know, who knows. And so, we have nowhere to go except for into here, and we can see these two big creepy dolls. Looks like Snow White and some dwarves, and Cinderella and her working tools, maybe. And there's some pictures on the ground here. Photos on the ground. What's this? And we'll see these two shadows casted, in which we can see that they have some items. Cinderella on the left and Snow White on the right, but something's wrong. So, when you see the shadows, something is not quite right. They're missing some items. So let's go ahead and give them their items. Snow White has a doll head. Not sure why that is exactly. I'm not too familiar with fairy tales. Downright creepy. I agree, Heather. And Cinderella, of course, needs her slipper, her shoe. And that will create the proper shadows to unlock this door. We can head through. What is this? A big dinosaur or dragon? This is the dragon that guards the treasure chests. It's just a prop and not scary at all. Fair enough. So we need to head through this door. Whoa. And this is something that's easy to miss, so we're gonna go ahead and let's kill these enemies so that we can talk about it. Come here, Pendulum. You big fucking asshole. And there's another double head over there. Come here, buddy. I just want to give you a treat. It's called Rapid Fire Lid. So, this is a little booth that if you saw the Silent Hill 1 lore play, or you've played the game yourself, you may remember is a booth you stop at as Harry before you get on the carousel and you fight the possessed version of Sybil. And we'll notice that there's a big notepad there. Let's grab these stun gun batteries. Ice cream store, but there's no one here. Big notepad. And again, if you've played Silent Hill 1 or seen the lore play, you'll recognize this is the save icon that's used in Silent Hill 3. Or Silent Hill 1, excuse me. Where Harry will record his thoughts and notes in order to save the game. So they in a very clever way, they realized, oh hey, Harry wrote notes all over town, so let's include one right here. And so we can see on the notepad. Man, this is just so cool. This is one of my favorite things because it's the save icon, you know. Dolly is the one who said it. Said that girl was a demon, that she took my daughter for a sacrifice. But it's not totally believable. I mean, appearances can be deceiving. When I saw that photo in the hospital basement, I thought, that girl looks like Cheryl. Is that why I feel this way? Something's not normal anyways. Nothing good will come of this. But I just can't think of her as a demon. Is it my imagination, or do I actually feel sorry for her? Why do I feel like she's looking for someone to help? Cheryl's what's important to me. Everything else can wait until I've gotten her back. There's a date and a signature at the end. It's dated some 17 years earlier and signed by Harry. Dad? So cool, man. It's so cool. Anyways, like I said, this is near the Carousel. And the Carousel is where we fought Sybil. Again, there's a parallel there. Carousel, boss fight. In fact, a Carousel boss fight with a humanoid enemy. We saw that in Silent Hill 1. Might we see something like that again? Oh my goodness! Sorry, I sound like a retard saying that, but I never noticed that. Look at this. So if you remember in the cage earlier, I was talking about the body with the crossed arms. Looks like it's covered in cloth. This is that body. This is that model, but unobscured by the cage. Again, I'll show the picture here, but it's the bodies you see all over Silent Hill 1. Man, that's cool. Let me stop right here so you can get a good view of it. It's hard to get a good view of it, but you can kind of see it, I'm sure. That's really, really cool. I hadn't even noticed that before. I don't know how I missed it, but I suppose they're all over here, aren't they? Yeah, they're here too. Wow. That's really cool. Wow. Again, these games, I've played this, I don't know, 15 times. That's amazing. Anyways, let's crawl on the carousel and stop being amazed. And the gate will close behind us. I don't think we can even try using it. This is just called the Happy Carousel. And there's a note here all over these bloody horses. This horse is the only one not moving. Is it because it was stabbed in the head? There's a memo pinned to the horse's side with a huge nail. When 13 turns count 4, you will die from their curse. If you wish to escape, there is but one way out, to kill before you are killed. You will be saved by the 12th death. Of course, there are 13 horses total on here, and when these 13, when 13 turns count 4, meaning 52 times total, then we will die. So what we have to do is shoot these horses, and notice the big hook into the skin. I always like that detail, very horror. And they will breathe some hot steam, and we need to kill them. Now 13 count 4 is reference to a few things. Of course 52 makes the 52 weeks in a year, calendar year. And the spinning represents, again, circle of life for the cult's god. The spinning wheel, birth, death, rebirth. And also 13 plus 4 is 17, Heather's age. And also 4 in Japanese is pronounced the same way as their word for death. So it's thought of as kind of like the 13 of Japanese. But we need to kill these horses before they can turn 52 times, or we will die of the curse. Wow, this one is bulletproof. There we go. So I believe that we killed them all. We'll have some confirmation in a second here. Yep, because it will speed up and all the horses will start moving again. And something very interesting will happen to us. So now we get to fight our good friend, Alessa. Oh, I'm stuck. That was my fault. Alessa is... Let me just point out a few things here. You notice that the entire carousel is turning down at a very fast rate. All the horses are terribly wrapped up or shaking like this and hellish and obviously alive. And this is Memory of Alessa, again, is her name. Notice the parallels to Silent Hill 1, in which you get on this very same carousel and also fight a humanoid boss who is possessed Sybil. And Memory of Alessa will fight in a second here. I think she hit me a few times, so we're gonna heal. Now again with the theme of 4 and death and all that, we will have to defeat Alessa 4 times. And where is she? Come here, bitch. I think she's running circles too. So this is an easy boss fight, even you know, without this SMG. So she'll melt every time we kill her. Now we'll wait a second. Look in the middle here. You can see a burning figure. The same thing that we'll see in the very first boss fight of the split head in Silent Hill 1. In the center of the arena is the burning figure, just like that. Put the gun away. Which is pretty cool. Again, that figure, burning figure, represents Alessa and her burning in the house. And I think that, yeah, generally, gunshots do quite a bit of damage. No, it didn't actually do much damage. So she goes from pocket knife to a handgun to steel pipe. All weapons we've had. We can kick her while she's down if she wants. And finally she'll switch to the most deadly of all, which is the SMG. But we're not going to let her use it because it will kill us immediately. And we'll just unload on her until she finally does die. I think we have to knock her down once and then she'll die this time. Yep. And the boss fight will end just like that. No transition, no cutscene really, just you know, subtle. And of course you'll notice this horse that was twitching, now dead as well. And Alessa has left a memory message for us on the ground. It would be better for myself to die. After all, it's nothing to be afraid of. That child, that demon. When I think of the endless pain it will bring when it is birthed, I decided that instead of the suffering and cruelty I endured in that sick room, that I would like to bestow a more gentle and peaceful death on myself. Why do I resist? I never thought of myself as such a fool. Alessa, I guess it's kinda strange for me to call you that since you are me, but you know what? You and I don't think alike after all. And it's not like I don't remember that sick room either. So this is just pretty cool because it's, again, a reminder that Alessa's half me, half Heather, and, you know, Heather's half Cheryl, and so that was basically the Alessa side of our soul trying to kill us, because, like it was saying, there's a demon, there's a god, and let me reveal it to you now. It's been pretty heavily foreshadowed, so this is a good place to reveal. Heather's pregnant with a baby, which is why the Borley Haunted Mansion sign emphasizes no one pregnant, and so on, and why when we entered the park we had a crazy convulsion, Heather grabbed her stomach, or why she gets sick and grabs her stomach often when there's a strange noise is because those are her convulsions, and you'll notice they're slowly getting closer together because it's about time for God's birth. Now Silent Hill 1, the cult scheme was to get, you know, Alessa to birth the god of the cult, because it needs to be born, dies, rebirthed, born, dies, rebirthed, and so on. And so that's why, you know, she was trying to kill me, is because she was thinking, it's better for myself to die, because the child, the demon, will bring endless pain, so, you know, it's better to kill us right now. But I won't let her do that to me. Heather won't let her do that. And this is the hole that we were seeing on the wall earlier when this carousel was spinning. Now we're docked up to it. And whether it's coincidental that it looks like some stretched skin and a vagina, who knows? I mean, there's a ton of vagina symbolism in these games. And there's a slippery floor, so maybe it is a vagina. I hadn't even noticed that before, really. That's pretty funny. But yeah. Interesting stuff. Cool boss fight. Cool boss. Yeah, just cool stuff. And we've descended and descended and descended until we get in this hallway. And this hallway is... Stained by the evils of this world, we hold our sorrows within us. Only you can heal us these wounds. Each morning, afternoon, evening, and night we call out your name and pray for the day of the miraculous descent. I give to you unreservedly my body and my eternal soul. Whatever darkness may befall me, I will endure with you beside me. As proof of your miraculous power, guide our obedient and willing souls to the road of paradise, O Lord. We will not give in to the power of temptation as long as we have you in our hearts. So what's this hallway and all this graffiti leading to? O Lord, save us with your compassion. O Lord, shower us with your blessings. O Lord, favor us with your abundance. And there's a little chained up thing. Can't go over there. We can head upstairs here. And slowly realize what this is building to, which is the church. There's something written on the door. This door is to the gate which leads to the road to paradise. Embrace the bosom of the Holy Mother, admit your sins and be forgiven. Eternal tranquility can be yours.
How did you get here? It was Vincent, wasn't it? He led you here. When will he cease his meddling? But it's just as well. Luring you here also serves my purposes.
Checkmate.
Not yet. The time is not yet at hand. The time when all will be forgiven their sins. When the paradise we have long dreamed for will arrive. After the judgment and atonement, an eternity of bliss. Oh, Alessa, the world you wanted is nearly here.
That's not what I want.
Not you. Alessa, your true self.
But I am Alessa. My little Claudia, my dear sweet sister.
Alessa, is it you? Oh, how I've missed you.
I don't need another world. It's fine the way it is.
But you said it yourself. The world must first be cleansed with fire.
But that's not what I want now.
Alessa, don't you want happiness? Have you become blind to all the hopeless suffering in the world? We all need God's salvation.
Listen, suffering is a fact of life. Either you learn how to deal with that or you go under. You can stay in your own little dream world, but you can't keep hurting other people. Besides, I'll never forgive you for hurting my father.
I wish only for the salvation of mankind. But for that to happen, the world must first be remade. And for that, we need God.
You self-righteous witch! No one asked you to help!
What's growing within you? You despise me, don't you?
You're damned right I do!
That's good.
Really cool cutscene. I like that interaction between her and Claudia, and that's where it's confirmed completely that she is pregnant. Although it's so heavily foreshadowed, I don't feel bad for spoiling it like 2 minutes ago. Lock is broken, I can't open the door. This door, no reason, this is where I need to be, there's no reason to go back to the amusement park. And there's all these pictures all over the place that these are, in fact, this is the most important room for any religious or cult lore in all of the Silent Hill series. So in the next episode I will go through each painting, go through all of them, and explain every one of these completely. And I mean, they explain themselves well, but we're going to go through them and talk about, what they mean for the lore overall and how they recur in other games. And it's going to be a very good part, this next one, because there's this room, and then the next room has something that's very fascinating. It's a really cool sequence where you actually get to make a choice that affects your ending, and or it can affect your ending. It's just really cool. So this whole part of this game is probably maybe my favorite part of the entire game is the church. Everything is just so neat about it, and it's really the perfect ending to Silent Hill, the Harry and Heather story. So I hope you will tune in next time on the next episode of DBZ. It's going to be a good one. I'm thinking there's going to be 2 more episodes because the church is a full-fledged area, but that will be the end of the game after that. And it's going to be a good couple of episodes. I think these have been a good couple of episodes. I've had a lot of fun recording these. Very few mistakes so far. Having a good memory, and it's been a lot of fun. I haven't been messing up or anything, and yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and say I hope you have a great night or a great day. Do something you enjoy today. Don't listen to what other people say, just do something that you really enjoy. And actually, I should just say that I'm going to save right here, just for reference for the next episode. But yeah, so I hope you have an excellent day. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.